In our previous class, we discussed about the relations between union and the state. The union relations between state, the relations between the union and the state are administrative relations, legislative relations and financial relations. We studied detailedly about them. Now we are going to see some of the important topics in the same chapter. So in that first one is Finance Commission. What is it? Finance Commission. This plays an important role for the development of the country. So here the Finance Commission, in this we are going to see about the composition and powers and functions of Finance Commission. So first we are going to see about the composition of Finance Commission. So according to the Article 280 of the Indian Constitution, according to the Article 280 of the Indian Constitution, it deals about the composition and powers and functions of Finance Commission. In Constitution 280, Article 280 deals detailedly about the composition and powers and functions of Finance Commission. Okay, who will appoint the, see, here there will be a chairman for the Finance Commission. So who will appoint this chairman? This chairman, the President of India constitutes of a Finance Commission, a quasi-judicial body with chairman and 4 members. A chairman and 4 members will look after this Finance Commission, and this chairman and these 4 members are appointed by President. Okay, they are appointed by President. The chairman as well as the members are appointed by the President for the period of 5 years. How many years? Once if they are appointed, they will continue in their post for 5 years. Okay, and they are eligible for reappoint. So once if they are appointed, they can continue for another 5 years also by the advice of the President. Okay. The Constitution authorizes the Parliament to decide the qualifications of the members and chairman of the Commission. What are the qualifications of these members? Oh, this is decided by the Parliament, okay, and the President. What are the qualifications of these persons? Most probably the Chief Justices of India are appointed as the chairman of the Finance Commission. Okay, once again we see composition. According to the Article 280 of the Indian Constitution, in Article 280, it deals the Finance Commission's composition and powers and functions. Okay, and in this a chairman and 4 members will be, and they are appointed by the President, and they are eligible for reappointment, and the qualifications are dependent upon the Parliament. Okay, and the most probably the Chief Justices are appointed as the chairman and members of the Finance Commission. The next topic is powers and functions of Finance Commission. The powers and functions of Finance Commission. So it makes suggestions on any other matters referred to the Commission by the President in interest of the financial stability. It gives suggestions. If the President asks, it gives suggestions for the improvement, because it is a relationship between the state and the union. So it gives suggestions for President for the development of any state according to the financial stability. Okay. The second one is it makes recommendations as to what proportion of the central taxes is to be distributed among the states. The central taxes, how much can it will be distributed between the states. It gives the recommendations for the states finance commissions. Okay, it gives recommendations so far for the taxes, how much must be distributed among the states. Okay, it also makes recommendations regarding to the constituency or modification of agreements entered into by the union government with any state. Okay, what are the agreements? Okay, financial agreements which are given by the which are given by the constituency, it will give to the union government. Okay, to determine the principles that should govern the grants in aid of the revenue of the states out of the consolidated fund, how much fund must be given to the states from the consolidated fund will be decided by the finance commission. Okay, and it also holds discussions with the higher officials and prominent leaders on administrative and political affairs and invites suggestions from the heads of various financial institutions in the country for sound financial stability. It asks suggestions from various financial commissions for development of the country in financial stability. Once again, you see the powers and functions of finance commission. Okay, it makes suggestions on any other matters referred to the commission by the president in the interest of finance stability. It gives suggestions to the president for the stability, finance stability of the country. Second one, it makes recommendations as to what proportion of the central taxes is to be distributed among the states. How much fund must be distributed, how much taxes must be distributed to the states, it will be decided. Okay, it also makes recommendations regarding the constituency or modification of agreements entered into by the union government with any states. What are the recommendations, what are the agreements the union government is going to enter with the states according to the finance, it will be decided by the finance commission. Okay, to determine the principles that should govern the grants in aid of the revenues of the states out of the consolidated fund, how much revenue must be given to the states by the central government will be decided by the finance commission. Okay, and it also holds discussions which are with the prominent persons and officials who are related to the finance commission for the stability of the state's finance. Okay, so these are the powers and functions of finance commission. Advisory bodies at the union level. What are the some more advisory bodies to the union level, the relation between the union and the state? So the first one is a planning commission or Niti Aayog. What is the first one? Planning commission or Niti Aayog. Niti Aayog means NITA, National Institution for Transforming India, National Institution for Transforming India. So actually after getting the independence, this was started as a 5 years plan by Jawaharlal Nehru. So from then to every 5 years they are going to take one sector for the development. So this was changed by Narendra Damodar Das Modi. He was changed his 5 years plan as a integrated 1 year plan. Okay, that is a Niti Aayog. Okay, National Planning Commission was replaced by Niti Aayog on 1st January 2015. It was inaugurated on 2015 January 1st, introduced by Prime Minister Narendra Damodar Das Modi. Modi was introduced this new planning commission. Okay, it was recommended a national agenda including strategic and technical advices on elements of policy and economic matters. What is the work it will do? It will give the advices according to the development of the sectors. It look after all the sectors and it gives advices according to the elements of technical advisors and policy making and in economic matters. It gives advices on strategic and technical advices, and not only those policies and economic matters of the states. Okay, and it will also develop mechanism for village land plans and aggregate to them progressively at higher levels of government. And not only that, it will look after the development of the villages okay, in all aspects, okay, it will look after the villages development in all aspects, okay. So these are the functions of the planning commission, that is known as Niti Aayog. Once again you see, Niti Aayog was started by Modi, the Prime Minister. It was started in January 1st, 2015. It was replaced by the 5 years plan which was introduced by Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay, and the Niti Aayog, the full form of Niti Aayog is National Institute for Transforming India. It will look after the development of the states in all aspects. Not only that, it will look after the sectors which are backward. It gives suggestions according to the these sectors for the development. Okay, this is the first advisory body of a union state, that is Niti Aayog. The second one was National Development Council. What's the second one? National Development Council. So it was set up in 1952. So along 5 years plan, this was set up, but there was no change in this. It will use only assistance for the 5 years plan of the Niti Aayog. So it is another extra constitutional and extra legal body to associate the states information of the plans. What are the plans? Which sector is backward? What are the steps they have to take? So this will decide. It gives the plans for the Niti Aayog. It advises. It gives the advices for the Niti Aayog to look after these sectors. These have developed such type of advices. Okay. The Prime Minister is ex officio chairman of National Development Council. Okay. Who is the head ex officio chairman? Prime Minister is act as a ex officio chairman of National Development Council. It consists of all the members of the Union Cabinet. Who are the members? All the cabinet members, okay, and all the chief ministers, because the ruling of the states in the hands of the chief minister. So which sector must be developed? He knows very well. So that see, Union Cabinet ministers and chief minister of all the states and all administrators of the union territories. Union territories also includes union territories and members of the planning commission, because this is an assistant association of planning commission. So the planning commission members also will be the members of this National Development Council. Once again you see, the National Development Council is an additional advisory body of the union state level. Okay, it was set up in 1952. It is another extra constitutional and extra legal body to associate the states for the development, and the Prime Minister acts as a ex officio chairman of National Development Council, and not only the Prime Minister, all the Union Cabinet members and chief ministers and Union Territory members and the Planning Commission members will act as a members of this National Development Council. Okay. The next one is National Integration Council. What is the next one? The third one is National Integration Council. It was set up in 1961. See, this council was set up in 1961 by the Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru at New Delhi. At that time, at 1961, at New Delhi by Jawaharlal Nehru. At that time, he was the Prime Minister. It consists of Prime Minister as a chairman, who is the chairman of this National Integration Council. Prime Minister acts as the chairman of National Integration Council. Union Home Minister, Chief Ministers of the states are the members of this council. See, Prime Minister acts as the chairman of this National Integration Council, and Union Home Ministers, Chief Ministers of the state, and along with these persons, 7 leaders of political parties, 7 leaders, because our country is a democratic country. Political parties plays a main role for the development of the country. So 7 leaders of the political parties and 7 members are nominated by the Prime Minister. 7 members are nominated by the Prime Minister as a members of this council. Next, this council was directed to examine the issues like communalism, casteism, regionalism, etc. affecting the national integration. The main part is to protect the national integration. Okay, the main work of this National Integration Council is to protect the national integration of the country. So, it will look after not to get any issues such as communalism, casteism, regionalism, which are effects for the development of the country. They will look after not to get such type of any issues. Okay, these are the main function of a National Integration Council. Once again you see, National Integration Council. It was set up in 1961 by the at the time the Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru at New Delhi. But the chairman is a Prime Minister, acts as the chairman of this council, and along with the chairman, along with the Prime Minister, the Union Home Minister, Chief Ministers of the states acts as the members of this council, and along with this 7 leaders of the political parties, because the political parties plays a main role for the development of the country, so that the prominent leaders of the political parties and 7 members appointed by the Prime Minister will act as members of this National Integration Council. Okay, it will look after to not to get any issues which are related to the communalism, casteism or regionalism. It will protect, this council will protect the national integration, not to get any clashes or issues regarding to communalism, casteism and regionalism. Okay, this is about National Integration Council. And the fourth one was Interstate Council. What is the fourth one? Interstate Council. Okay. This Interstate Council was set up on May 28, 1990. When it was set up? May 28, 1990. It was set up under Article 263 of the Constitution. According to the Article 263 of the Constitution, this Interstate Council was set up on May 28, 1990. Okay, and it discusses about the major issues in the central state relations. See, interstate relations, the relations to maintain the relations in a smooth manner, that whichever the issues arises, they will look after those issues. Okay, Prime Minister acts as a chairman of this council. Who will act as the chairman of this council? Prime Minister acts as the chairman of Interstate Council. Okay, or Chief Minister for all the states, Lieutenant Governors of Union Territories, because relationship between the states and center, Union Territories and the center, so that for states Prime Chief Ministers, and for Union Territories Lieutenant Governors of Union Territories, and 6 Union Cabinet Ministers were appointed as members of this Interstate Council. Okay, all major issues involving interstate relations, including legislation under the concurrent list, have to be dismissed and decided by the concurrent list. Already we discussed this in Union State Relation List 1, Union Relations, List 2, State Relations, and List 3. A concurrent list means Union and State list. So, whatever the issues are there between the state and the center will discuss it here in Interstate Council. Okay, and it should meet thrice a year. It should meet thrice a year. Once again you see, Interstate Council. This was set up on May 1990, May 28th, under the Article 263 of the Constitution. It discusses the major issues between the center and state relations. Okay, Prime Minister acts as the chairman of this interstate council, and along with the Prime Minister, all the state chief ministers and lieutenant governors of the union territories and union cabinet ministers were appointed by the Prime Minister will act as a members of interstate council. All the major issues which are involving between the center and the state, including the legislation, okay, administration and financial matters, all the matters are discussed here, and they take the decision in interstate council, and they should meet thrice a year, So these are the functions of the interstate council. Okay. The next one is Sarkaria Commission. So this commission gives recommendations for the improvement of the relations between the union and the state. Okay, so what is this Sarkaria Commission? The union government appointed a 3 members commission on the center state relations to develop the central state relations. The union government appointed a person under the chairmanship of R.S. Sarkaria. So who is the chairman of this commission? R.S. Sarkaria. So that on his name this commission was named as a Sarkaria Commission. He was a retired judge of the Supreme Court. Okay. So the commission was asked to revive the working of existence arrangements between the union and the state. Okay. This commission was set up to give some more suggestions for the better development and better relations between the union and the state. Okay. In all aspects and recommendations, such changes and measures as may be appropriate, which are useful for the development of the state and the union, for the development of the relations between the union and the state, to give some recommendations. This commission was set up. Okay, the head of this commission was Sarkaria, R.S. Sarkaria. So that on his name this commission was named as a Sarkaria Commission. Okay, so the Sarkaria Commission gave 247 recommendations for the improvement of the state and union relations. Okay, how many recommendations? The Sarkaria Commission made 247 recommendations to improve the center and state relations. Okay, a few we are going to see now. Okay, what are those? See the recommendations of the Sarkaria Commission. A permanent interstate council called the Intergovernmental Council should be set up under Article 263. Interstate Council, just previously we discussed about the Interstate Council, not to get any communal clashes or the caste clashes or the regionalism clashes. To stop such type of clashes, they started a interstate council. So it should be a permanent, okay, it should be a permanent council, and it should be named, set up under the Article 263. It should not be dissolved. So they should start a permanent interstate council, okay, for the development of the relations between the states and union. Okay, that is the first one under the Article 263. Okay, and Article 356, what is that? Presidential rule. In President emergency powers, we read about this presidential rule. Article 356 is President's rule. So Article 356 Presidential rule should be used in extreme cases as a last resort when all the available alternatives fail. Okay, so in easy methods we should not impose the president rule. If all the alternatives are failed, if it is very compulsory, then only we should restore the president's rule in the states. This is the second recommendation. And the third one, the institutions of the All India service should be further strengthened and some more such services should be created. All India services, okay, it comes to give the jobs and everything. Okay, so this is we should improve all India services and all other some more important services should be created for the development of the national and state relations. Okay, next one, the residuary powers of the taxation should continue to remain with the parliament, while other residuary powers should be placed in the concurrent list. Only a few which are very important taxation should be handed out to the parliament and others should be in the concurrent list. I told you again, once again I am saying what is the concurrent list. List 1 is the union list, list 2 is the state list, and list 3 is the concurrent list. Concurrent list means which includes state and union. Okay, that is known as concurrent list. Only a few residuary powers should be handed out to the parliament and the others must be in a concurrent list. Okay, and the next one, the NDC, National Development Council, should be renamed and reconstituted as a National Economic and Development Council. National Development Council must be renamed and changed as a National Economic and Development Council. Okay, it should be renamed and it should be developed as it should include an economic strategy also. Okay, when the president holds his access to the state bills, the reason should be communicated to the state governments. If any changes are there in the state list, when the president is changing any state list, so he should inform them why there is going to be a change in the list. It should be informed to the state chief ministers or state members. Okay, and the zonal council should be constituted afresh and reactivated to promote the spirit of federalism. Federalism means union and state governments. Okay, so the zonal councils, for zone they have to start a zonal councils and they should help for the development of the interstate relations. Okay, these are the Sarkaria, the recommendations which are given by the Sarkaria Commission. Once again you see a commission was set up by the union government. Okay, as 3 members are members in this and in that the chairmanship was given to R.S. Sarkaria. He was a retired Chief Justice of Supreme Court. So on his name this recommendations is named as a Sarkaria Commission. Okay, so this commission made 247 recommendations for the improvement of the state and central relations. Okay, once you see what are the recommendations. Okay, a permanent interstate council called the Intergovernmental Council should be set up, and under Article 263, a permanent interstate council should be set up to look after the relations between the nation and the states, not to get any clashes in issues, not to raise any issues on communalism, regionalism and casteism. Okay, and the second one is Article 356. Article 356 is a president's rule. It should not be imposed in extreme cases. Understand? When all the alternatives are failed, then only they should impose the president rule. Okay, that is the next one. And the next one, the institution of All India services should be further strengthened and some more such services should be created for the development of the citizens of India to take active part in the in the ruling, so they have to start an All India Service Commission, and it should be strengthened, and some more such type of institutions should be started for the development of the citizens. Okay, and the next one is the residuary powers of taxation should be continued to remain with the Parliament. Taxation should be on what they have to impose the taxes. This should be in the hands. This residuary power should be continue in the Parliament, and whereas while other residuary powers should be placed in the concurrent list. Some more residuary powers should be imposed in the concurrent list, means union and state list is known as concurrent list. And the NDC, National Development Council, should be renamed and reconstituted as a National Economic and Development Council. Not only development of the country, economic development also very, very important, so that it should be reconstituted as a National Economic Development Council. Okay, and when the President holds his assist to the state bills, if there are any changes in the state bills, if the President changes any state bills, okay, the reason should be communicated to the state governments. Why it was changed? What is the reason for the change of the bills? It must be informed to the state governments. Okay, next one. The zonal council should be constituted afresh and reactivated to promote the spirit of federalism. Zonal councils means to strengthen the ruling. The zonal councils must be reconstructed and reactivated for the promote of the spirit of the federalism. These are the recommendations which are given by the Sarkaria Commission for the development of the relations between the states and union governments. Okay. The next one is Punchinchi Commission. The UPA government set up a commission on center-state relations in April 28, 2007. Who was set up this? UPA government was set up this commission on the date 28 April 2007 under the chairmanship of Madan Mohan Punchinchi, a retired Chief Justice of India. So that on his name, this commission was named as a Punchinchi Commission. Okay, the commission prepared over 310 recommendations for the center and the state relations. Okay, it submitted its reports to the government in the year 2010. It took 3 years time to get recommendations between to maintain the relations between the center and the state. Okay, it took 3 years time. Okay, the main recommendations of this commission is that the cooperative federation will be the key for sustaining Indians' unity, integrity and social and economic development in future. All as a federal country, it must have the unity between the states and the center in all space. That is the main recommendation of this Punchinchi Commission. Okay, so once again you see Punchinchi Commission. The UPA government set up this commission on center-state relations in April 28, 2007 under the chairmanship of Madan Mohan Punchinchi, a retired Chief Justice of India. So it gave 310 recommendations for the good relationship between the center and the state. It took 3 years time to give these recommendations. Okay, the main recommendation of this commission is that the cooperative federation means as a federal country, all the states must be dependent on the central government. So it should be a good relationship between the center and the state. This is the main key of the Punchinchi Commission. Okay, next tension areas in union state relations, where we get more tensions between the union and the state relations. In which aspects we get tensions between the union and the states? See, this is first one, mode of appointment of governor, because the government must be appointed by the president. So while we are going to appoint the president, there we have to face because any state, the same state person should not be appointed as a governor to the same state. So the others, one state member must be appointed as another state governor. So at that time we have to face a somewhat tension. Okay, first one, mode of appointment of governor, and the next one, discriminatory role of governor. What are the, see, he has in central government how the president will take the decisions, like in state the governor will take the decisions. So while he is playing his role as a governor, at the time we get somewhat tensions between the state and the union. Okay, next, use of article 356 in the states means president's rule. Article 356 is president's rule. And previously we discussed about that if all the alternatives are fail, then only we have to impose the president's rule in the states. Okay, next one, discriminations in financial allocations to the state. While they are allotting the financial matters between the states, then they face more tension between this while they are allotting the taxes. Next, issues of all India services. Okay, all India services, IAS, IPS and IFCs, while they are distributing this, they have to face a lot of tension between the union and the state. Use of electronic media for political purpose. Using the electronic media for the political purpose is also one of the tension. Next one, demand for the state autonomy. In these situations we get clashes between the we have to control between the relations between the union and the state. Once again, see, tension areas in union and state relations are mode of appointment of governor. Next one, discriminatory role of governor. Next one, use of article 356 in the state. Article 356, always we have to remember that it is a president rule. Okay, and discriminations in financial allocations to the state, and issue of all India services, IAS, IPS and IFC. While we are distributing this, we have to face attention, and use of electronic media for the political purpose. And the next one is demand for state autonomy. So with this okay, this union state relations chapter was finished. Okay, all these okay, what are the commissions, what are the finance commissions, what are the other commissions, Sakarya commissions, Punjiji commission, NDCE, all we discussed very thoroughly. And the relations between, mainly the relations between the state and the union are administrative relations, legislative relations and financial relations. What are the lists, concurrent list, state list, union list, what are the residuary powers, all this we detailedly discussed in this chapter. Okay.